Women Innovators. Interviews with women with big messages and big missions, sharing their stories to inspire you to live your passion and step up to make the world a better place. Here's your host, Tammy Patzer.
Hi, this is Tammy Patzer, and I'm really excited to introduce today's guest, Linda Allred. Linda is a 2-time best-selling author. Her first best-selling book, Answering the Call, became an instant #1 bestseller on Amazon the day it was released due to the message that so many people needed and still need in their lives today. Based on the success of the book, Linda was awarded the Quilly Award in 2014 in Hollywood, California, where she also presented a powerful presentation in front of more than 250 best-selling authors, including Mark Victor Hansen from the Chicken Soup for the Soul Empire, her own mentor and coach, Lisa Sasevich, and Peter Diamandis, founder of the X Prize. That is Peter Diamandis, I believe that's the way I should have pronounced that. Linda's passion is to work with overweight and financially stressed entrepreneurs to send their food cravings and business money woes flying once and for all. Linda is the last weight loss and money expert you'll ever need. Your transformation happens because Linda has 5 surefire steps in a system that integrates the one ingredient every program you've tried has neglected: your brain. And it controls 99% of your feelings, attitudes, beliefs, and therefore your actions about your weight and money. With Linda, all the doubts and lies your brain has been feeding you are eliminated. You have coping strategies that make doubts disappear. You're proud of yourself and what you can accomplish. This is the reason people call Linda Allred the hottest ticket in town. She's changed the lives of thousands of people who have struggled through program after program to find their answer, and she's ready to change yours too. And you know what, Linda? As I was talking about you, I realized that I am that person, the person who needs to lose some weight, and I'm an entrepreneur who's always trying to balance her life. So I just want to say thank you for coming on today and sharing with us. I really appreciate it. So welcome, Linda.
I am so excited to be here. I am. And let me just make a confession. People tell me I don't look my age. I am 77 years young. But guys, I have been around the block a few times, and I know a thing or two about a thing or two. So hang around with me, and I'll teach you to live well. Okay.
And I know that's an absolute fact because I was lucky enough to meet Linda, about a year or so ago, and she is just a rock star, awesome person. And believe me, I'm really excited to get into you telling us more about your story. So tell me more about who do you really love working with?
Well, Tammy, I love working with entrepreneurs that want to lose weight and they want to make more money. Because let me tell you, 25 years ago, I was the most miserable person you would ever want to be around. I was in an unhappy marriage. I was married 54 years. My husband passed away 5 years ago. But the middle of the marriage, I was very, very unhappy. And my mother told me, don't complain. Just let whatever your husband says, do. I was born in 1940. So I stuffed all my feelings until one day I felt like I was dying. And I ate my pain away with food and packed on 40 pounds. And guys, when you don't feel good, it's human nature to want to feel better. So some people reach out for food, the emotional eating to dull the pain. Some people reach out for alcohol or drugs or cigarette. And temporarily you may feel better, but it doesn't solve the problem. And this is my little inner critic. I call him my little Tasmanian devil. And he said, Linda, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're fat, you're a loser. You'll never, ever amount to anything. And I believed him. And one day, my husband and I had gotten into an argument, and he loved me dearly. But I was born in the John Wayne era when men put women down. And his favorite words were, Linda, you're dumb, you're stupid. I can't believe you did that. And everything that I attempted to do to please this man was never good enough. And I grew up thinking I was not good enough. And that is the number one limiting belief in the world. So one morning we got into an argument, and it was a cold winter morning. I just fixed myself a cup of hot chocolate, and it was, I don't even remember what it was about, but I left the room, I went and sat in the living room, and there he came again. And I left the room and I went and sat on the bed, and there he came right in my face. And guys, I have never, ever, 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 ever been so mad at one human being in my entire life. And the next thing I knew, I threw the cup of hot chocolate directly in his face. I can still see his eyes looking at me, the chocolate dripping all down his shirt, all over the bed. And I thought, oh, my Lord, what have I done? I ran out of the house. I didn't know whether to run away forever or to come back. And I finally somehow mustered the courage to walk back in, and he was still in the bedroom. And I said, Don, you will never, ever, ever, ever make me feel that way again. And I drew the line in the sand. And guys, when you do not like yourself or love yourself, you let anyone else in your world treat you the same way, like the doormat. Well, 2 nights later, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking I was dying of a heart attack, and was rushed to the hospital. And the doctor ran all kinds of tests and said, Linda, there's nothing physically wrong with your heart. I suspect this is stress. And he said that 80 to 90% of the people that visit doctors, it's stress induced. You know, we do it with our own mind. And you know what he had the nerve to tell me to do?
What?
Linda, you really need to go learn to relax. Well, I could have slapped him. Give me a pill. Cut it out. Don't tell me I have to live with this. So I suffered with it for over a year. I look professional, I act professional, I dress professional, but I was dying on the inside. And a master's degree RN said, Linda, why don't you go learn to practice hypnosis? Hypnosis is all self-hypnosis, and it's a natural stress releaser. And I said, look, I don't do woo-woo stuff. My husband's a banker. Are you crazy? But as a last resort, I backed into that hypnotist chair. Didn't tell the banker husband till the night before I went. He says, oh, they're going to brainwash you. You'll never be the same again. I said, Don, the medical community has said there's nothing physically wrong with me. I need to find out and learn to relax. So I sat in the hypnotist chair. I heard every word the man said, thought it was the biggest waste of money and time in my life when I left there. But within 72 hours, nothing in my life had changed. But things sort of slowed down for me. I started noticing that I had more self-confidence. I started sleeping better. My memory improved. And my eating behavior changed. I wasn't trying to change it, but I wasn't stress eating. And so, you know how when you're ready for the teacher, God puts the teacher in front of you?
Yes.
The hypnotist sent me a flyer that he was doing a workshop that Saturday. And I said, oh, I can't go. I can't tell my husband I'm going to this workshop. Well, God had a friend invite him to go fishing, so I didn't have to tell him where I was. And he taught me the power of our minds. You know, you have two minds, a conscious and a subconscious. I mean, I sort of knew that, but I didn't know this. Your conscious mind makes up 1% of your mind. It judges 2 + 2 is 5. It says that's wrong. It's where this little guy is. And 1% of your mind, it sets goals for you. So do you realize that everyone listening or watching this broadcast that has a goal is using 1% of their mind? That's not good odds. So he taught me the power of the subconscious. It makes up 99% of your mind. It's where all of your feelings, your attitudes, your habits, and your beliefs are. And until you learn to tap into that power, you just stay stuck. So I ended up going into a certification program with the hypnotist because at first I went in his stress management program. And I was a human resource director for 17 years. I had great benefits, a month vacation, 20th floor office overlooking the Mississippi River Bridge, and I thought I had died and gone to heaven. But the stress of all of that and not knowing how to release it in a healthy way, led me to leave that job and walk out on a leap of faith to open my own business. And that was over 25 years ago. And I wanted to specialize in weight loss because it is the hardest nut to crack. I can tell a smoker you will never smoke again, but I cannot tell you will never eat again. So it's one of the hardest areas to work in. But I was determined to find a system that worked. So there was a gentleman named Russell Yarnell that was doing a seminar in Orlando, Florida, to teach you how to market weight loss for hypnosis. Well, I told the little dreambuster husband, I was going to fly down to Orlando. And
the dreambuster husband, I love it.
Oh, God, he was my dreambuster. He said, "You are so stupid. You're only bringing in $4,000 a month. I'm really supporting you right now, and you're going to fly down to Orlando. You got to be out of your mind." But because I was learning to practice self-hypnosis, and this little guy, instead of telling me I was dumb and stupid, he was giving me more self-confidence. I was learning to believe in myself. And I went, and this guy, Russell Yarnell, was working with 5 men in major metropolitan cities. They had weight loss clinics. Well, I decided I wanted him to be my mentor. I called him every week for 6 months. Nope, because he didn't think this little girl from Baton Rouge could cut it. Finally, he said, on a Monday morning, I said, "You're never going to go away, are you?" I said, "No, I'm not." He said, "All right." Well, this was 1996, and I paid him $1,500 a month. That's a lot of money in 1996. And, of course, the dreambuster husband said, "Oh, my God, you're making $4,000 a month and you're paying the man $1,500. You're crazy." But I was believing in myself. Under 2 years later, under the leadership of a mentor and letting go of my stinking thinking, we started bringing in $60,000 a month. I was on track that year to bring in $720,000 when my husband had a stroke. And I sold the business. Then I became his caregiver, really, for 13 years. But I finally went back to work with a different model. I just worked out of my home. And God kept sending me people that wanted to lose weight, but they were also entrepreneurs and they wanted to make more money. And I mean, I just kept being knocked on the head that I needed to do both, And let me just say this, after Don had a stroke, he couldn't drive for 6.5 years, he developed cancer. But the year before he developed cancer, I joined Lisa Sasevich, a year-long mastermind. It was a $30,000 investment, and I walked into the office with confidence, and I told my dreambuster husband that you're not going to understand what I'm getting ready to tell you, but it's time for me. Because he was driving again after the stroke. I said, "I've taken care of you. I've taken care of the boys. It's my turn." So I joined Lisa Sasevich Mastermind January 2000, and then in March 2000, Don was diagnosed with cancer, and he lost that battle. But I tried to do as much as I could, taking him everywhere too. But 6 weeks before he died, every night I would climb over the rails in his little hospice bed, and I would rub his back, and I'd play either a positive affirmation CD or a hypnosis CD. And I may cry, but the end of the marriage was really, really good because he started treating me with respect. You know why? Because I love myself. And I didn't let anyone in my world treat me any different than that, And he finally gave me the room to be who I needed to grow up to be. And about 6 weeks before he passed, guys, I was rubbing his back one night, playing a hypnosis session for him. And he says, "Linda, I never knew I could love someone as much as I love you." And guys, people wait a lifetime to hear that. Some people never, ever hear that. And I almost left the marriage because it's all his fault. It's all his fault. It's all his fault. But I had to stop and say, what is between my ears? What caused me to believe this? My father was an alcoholic. He never abused me, but he never told me he loved me. Then I married a handsome man that talked to me, which was wonderful. And then he started telling me I was dumb and stupid, But I had to learn to get rid of those limiting beliefs that are in your subconscious mind. And through the years, I came up with what I call my 5-step surefire system to learn to tap into the power of the subconscious and just to pay forward, what I had learned. I can't keep it a secret. I have to tell people about it,
Well, what's so interesting about you, Linda, is how you stuck with it and you found answers that worked. And of course, it is very beautiful that your husband was able to communicate with you and left you with that gift. What a gift to be able to know that, no matter what you went through with him, that in the end, you were the love of his life and that you really, truly meant something, and he told you. Because I think so many of us really need that, and we're not told that we're loved and appreciated enough, and I recognize that in me when you tell that story, and of course I'm wiping the tears away as you're telling that story. So can you tell me more about when you work with people? So when do you typically start out? Obviously, we've got weight loss and money, and I would say that those are probably two of the top things that most people, entrepreneurial women deal with, and a few smart men too, deal with those issues too. But your 5-step program, can you talk a little bit about what those 5 steps entail?
I'm going to tell it in a story of working with a 10-year-old boy. And I know we're all adults, and why do I want to hear this story? But you'll understand. Albert Pellichet called me about 6 years ago and said that he had a son named Dino that he loved dearly, but he did not like him. And he asked if I would work with him. And I said, well, let's start him off with my first steps. I had a conversation with him about how the mind works, like I just told you, conscious, subconscious. And I said, let him start listening to a positive affirmation CD. You can go to my website, lindaallred.com, and click products. And it's a positive affirmation bundle. And they've proven in research, when you say, I am, whatever you say next, your subconscious accepts it as fact. I am stupid, I am dumb, I am a failure, or I am successful, I am happy. So they made a deal with little Dino that every night he had to listen to the Child's Health and Confidence CD, which is made for children under 11. I have one for adults called Self-Confidence. And 2 weeks later, Dino started waking up happier. And they thought, well, why, it wasn't that CD. 3 weeks later, Dino's teacher, Miss Smith, called and wanted to know what they were doing different. And they said, nothing. She said, something major is going on with this child. His grades are better, his behavior is better, and he's a very shy child. And she said he put his hand on his hip and looked up at me and said, Miss Smith, I'm freaking awesome, and you know it, don't you? He had never said anything like that. So they said the only thing, he's listened to a affirmation CD every night for 15 minutes. So what did I tell you earlier? That I should have told you is that your subconscious does not care how you want to live your life. It just listens to your conscious thoughts and tries to do everything within its power to make your thoughts true. So when you start putting new uplifting positive thoughts into your mind, your subconscious is, okay, we want to feel happy and successful today instead of we don't want to feel depressed and down today, because that was the stinking thinking. I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm worthless, So Albert said, Linda, I want to gift my child in your VIP program at the deepest level you teach your adults. So Dina entered my program, and we kicked it up a notch into learning to practice creative visualization, which is a form of self-hypnosis that I teach my clients, that as you go to sleep at night, as you wake up, you can give your subconscious a picture of what you want your life to do and live, and it will do everything to make that possible. And then I introduced hypnosis, which hypnosis I was scared of hypnosis. I thought it was all woo-woo. But I found out it's just a beautiful, beautiful, and both of my mentors in my certification program were Methodist ministers. And it's a beautiful way to learn to dehypnotize yourself with all the negative messages that you have, so it's nothing to be afraid of. And so I continued working with Dino with the with hypnosis CDs to listen to, because his goal was, I also do the energy work of kinesiology, which is another sort of woo-woo thing, You tap into somebody's energy and find out what they believe and what they don't believe and change those beliefs. And one day when Dino came in, I said, Dino, you told me everything that's wrong in your life. And I know I talked to all of you out there. In the first 5 minutes, you could regurgitate everything that's wrong in your life. Blah, 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 blah. What's the opposite of what's wrong? What's right? So what if you could set a brand new goal, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and every reason in your subconscious that you say, I can't do that, you reprogram your mind and you believed you can do it. Henry Ford said, if you think you can, you're right, or you think you can't, you're right. We're sort of in what's called the thermostat effect. Have you ever heard of the thermostat effect?
No, I haven't.
All right. You have a thermostat in the hall and you set it at 72 degrees. By default, it kicks off and on at 72. It cannot do more or less than it's programmed for. So we're all in this box, this thermostat. We think we can do what's inside the box, but we don't think we can stick a foot and do something on the outside of the box. But there's a field of medicine called neuroplasticity. In research, they prove that our mind is a computer and it can be reprogrammed. And the 5 surefire steps teach you how to reprogram that. So going back to Dino, I said, if you could live a new life 24 hours a day, Dino, what would that life look like? He said, well, Miss Linda, they tell me I'm really good in gymnastics, but every time I make a mistake, I just quit and go sit on the bench and pout. I said, why, Dino? I could hardly hear what he had to say. He said, Miss Linda, I don't believe I'm good enough. So we change those beliefs. And people say, well, how do you know if you have limiting beliefs in your subconscious? Well, are you achieving your goals pretty quickly? If you are, you probably don't have that many limiting beliefs holding you back. But if you're sort of stuck spinning your wheel, you probably do. And another way to look at limiting beliefs is like, what a log jam looks like in a river? All the logs dam the water and the water can't flow. It's just stuck. Mm-hmm. Let's just pretend a log called I am not good enough floats down the stream, and another log, I'm inadequate, I'm not worthy, I'm fat, I'm stupid, I can't do this. And all of a sudden you've got the dam and the water can't flow. Imagine that log jam is in your subconscious mind. And if you know anything about logging, the loggers will tell you if they can find one log called the kingpin that started the jam, it's the root cause, and free that one log, all the other logs break up easily and gently and flow down the stream with no resistance. So that is what I do. I find my clients' kingpin. Change the belief. The day that I believed that I was not good enough, and when I changed the energy around that, and I stood up tall knowing that I am good enough, my world changed, because people love the energy of confident people. They want to work with people that are confident. What if I was a 300-pound weight loss expert? Would you work with me?
No, because
food stamps. Would you work with me if I wanted to help you make more money? No. So when you change the belief that I am good enough, your energy changes and you have confidence in yourself. And my whole world changed. So we found all of Dino's little kingpins. And about 2 months later, the father called me back and said that Dino had gone out in a state gymnastics meet in his age group. He said, but Linda, when Dino got to the pommel horse, he stumbled. Well, my heart just broke. But he said, Linda, that kid picked himself up and won that state meet. How come he won the state meet? because he believed he was good enough. He let go of that belief that he could not do this. So every time I tell the story, I get goosebumps. He's a 15-year-old, well-adjusted. Everybody loves Dino now because he learned to reprogram his mind with the 5 surefire steps. Okay. And about 2 months later, Dino's father called me because he was excited what happened to Dino. And he says, okay, I have a goal, Linda. I want to be a professional speaker. But I don't think anyone successful would really want to pay any attention to what I had to say. Kingpin, kingpin, kingpins, right? So we changed all of his kingpins where he believed that he could be a successful professional speaker. And guess what Allred is doing today?
Speaking.
He is the president of the National Speakers Association in New Orleans.
Oh, wow.
And I'm the president of my local B&I group. And he came about 3 weeks ago and told the Dino story as well as his story about using the 5-step surefire system helped him to learn to reprogram his mind. And talking about the kingpin, guys, if you want to write down this website, it's www.linda, Linda, Allred, ALLRED.com/one, ONE thing. And I'll repeat that, lindaallred.com/one thing. You'll sign up for it, but it's a 3-part video series that's going to help you understand the one thing that's holding you back. And you will actually be able, the second video, there is a hottest ticket in town, a wheel of life that you rate yourself in 12 areas of your life, and you circle how you feel on a scale of 1 to 10. Then you can connect your dots and you can really see if your life is really small or you're living a fulfilled life. So.
And I can attest to that because I actually did that. And when I first worked on my wheel of life, it kind of looked like a lopsided flat tire. It was in and out. And what I'm recognizing is that it's not like a one and done thing. You actually, need to process different parts of your life. But I know the work that I've done with you has really helped me to emerge, and my ability to interact with people has improved. My speaking, going out and speaking around the country, I've done a lot more of that since I met you, and I've just done a lot more bigger things than I ever imagined that I personally could do. I was at the Business Expert Forum at Harvard Faculty Club, NASDAQ. I just spoke at Microsoft. A year ago, those things were not even on my radar. And then I worked with you, and all of a sudden, I'm seeing myself as someone who could really make a big difference in the world. So I want to just
your thermostat.
Thank you. Yeah, my thermostat got reset.
Some people say I can't make it $50,000 a year. Why can't you make $500,000 a year? You just reset the thermostat. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that analogy of the thermostat because it really makes sense that you really are unlimited, and I think I really got that message from you today, is how limiting we are to ourselves and how we let these little things, just like, that Tasmanian devil, keep telling you, those, like you're dumb, you're stupid. Mm-hmm. And I know one of my limiting beliefs was, who would ever listen to me?
Right.
And once I broke through that, and there's a lot of people who are interested in what I have to say, mm-hmm. Because I speak from a place of truth and who I am. And I think that everybody can walk away with that lesson, that all of us have something that other people are very interested in. So you mentioned your website, lindaallred.com /one thing to get that. And also, I just want to make it clear how you work with people. What are the different ways you work with people?
Well, I'm not local, I'm international. You can go to the website under products, and I have things, weight loss systems, stress-free home study systems, stop smoking, the positive affirmation bundle. Just take a first step. If that's just to get one affirmation CD and start doing that. But I have products, and then I have programs. The Slim, Prosperous, and Perfect is a 4-week program that really lays the foundation of the 5-step system, and it's going to kick off again in August. And then I have a Crack in the Weight Loss Code virtual program. I have a Crack in the Money Code virtual program. Then I have an Inner Circle twice a month. You come and you get coaching twice a month. But I am not local. I am international.
Okay, so basically anybody can connect with you and online, and then of course you have the products, the CDs, or the virtual programs. And are you doing any public speaking these days?
Yes, I'm doing a lot of live events, yes. I wanted to also say, when you sign up for the 3-part video series, underneath each video, you can book a complimentary session with me just to talk about, hey, what would a first step look for you? Because I try to meet clients exactly where they are. But it's really, isn't it empowering to know, and let me put it this way, we go to college, we go take all kind of courses, we read all kind of books, and we do benefit. I'm not saying that we don't, but you're only using 1% of your mind. So I teach you what no one has ever taught you to do, to learn how to tap into the power of your subconscious mind. It makes up 99% of your mind. And a good analogy is, if you walked outside at night and looked up at the stars in heaven, if you just look at one star, that one star represents the power of your conscious mind. And all the stars that you can see and cannot see represents the power of your subconscious. So God wants us to be all that we possibly can be. I used to think that I could speak here in Baton Rouge, but the thought of getting on an airplane and flying to Canada or New York or Florida and speak on a big stage, oh, I couldn't do that. Oh, God, no, I couldn't do that. Look, at 74, after my husband died, 18 months later, I wrote my first best-selling book. I spoke in front of 250 best-selling authors. I walked from the back of the room all the way down that long corridor up on that stage. I did this. How did I do this? I believed I was good enough. And if you go to my website on the right, there's a video clip of my Quilly Award. You can see it. Other than getting married and having kids, that was the most fun thing I ever did in my life.
Wow. Well, one thing about you, Linda, you are a true inspiration. And like I said, I know that your systems are very powerful, because I know for me that my big transformation was from who would ever listen to me to being able to speak on stages in front of business people and audiences and crowds and talk about what I do and different things. And so just listening to you today is like reawakening the different things in me that I need to work on, because again, I know I've had major breakthroughs, and it's a process of growth that we live. And I'm really interested in hearing more from people who do contact you about the kingpins, because I think that you're absolutely right. If you can find that one kingpin, and it could open the floodgates for weight loss, for making more money, for success. And if you want to be a speaker, be a speaker. You can become anyone you want to be. And I think that's what's really powerful. So before I let you go, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Other than you could go on my website, and you made a video. You flew to Baton Rouge to be interviewed by a television station here, and your video testimony is on my website.
Oh, cool. Yes, I remember that. And that was so exciting, because when I went to Baton Rouge, I didn't realize you literally lived like across the street from the TV studio. And then I went there and I said, oh, she lives right there. And that was a really cool experience to go to Baton Rouge, because just an aside, when I went to Baton Rouge, I got a rental car and they didn't have any regular rental cars. So they gave me a Dodge Charger, like the one from the Dukes of Hazzard. So I'm driving around Baton Rouge in a Dodge Charger, like the one from the Dukes of Hazzard, because they didn't have any other car. So that was kind of a fun little thing that happened to me there. Well, thank you so much. And everyone,
Tammy, because I know how to use my conscious and subconscious mind. Okay. My husband passed away 2 months, and then my son was killed in 2000. In 2016, the entire city of Baton Rouge flooded, and my 47-year-old home flooded 5 feet. I woke up in the middle of the night with knee-deep water. The whole community of Baton Rouge still has post-traumatic stress disorder. But because I know that my mind does not care how I want to live my life, it just listens to my thoughts, I have been able to stand up and recover so much faster because I know how to use this 5-step Surefire system. Okay. But so many people here still, they're just living in the past, you know. And I'm getting ready to go, taking my entire family to Greece on a tour of Greece and Rome. 2020, January the 4th, I'm going on a 4.5-month Grand World Tour on Holland, America, because I have learned to thrive instead of survive. And the majority of people out there, they're just surviving from one paycheck to the paycheck. But when you learn to reprogram your mind, you can learn to thrive. And that's what I want for everybody, to be able to thrive. And I'm just really, really excited. You know, I'm living my dream life because it wasn't always that way. I have gone through some stuff, but because I know how to tap into those 5 Surefire steps, you know, I recover so much faster. And that's what I want to pay forward to the rest of the world. No pills, no drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes, no emotional eating. Learn to get high, happy, and prosperous and healthy using the power of your mind that God gave us.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Everyone.
Friend, I go to the bathroom now. He says, what do we want to do today? Because we know we can do anything because we know how to use the 5 Surefire steps.
He's so cute. So everyone, it's Linda Allred, ALLRED.com, and you can go there and find all kinds of cool stuff. LindaAllred.com/one thing, and got some cool videos there. And just go check it out. Take her up on that free consultation because, hey, think about it. If you could just know what your one thing is and release that, big floodgates will open for weight loss, money, and success. So again, Linda, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
This is Tammy Patzer. Go make it a beautiful day.
You've been listening to Women Innovators with Tammy Patzer. To learn more, please go to womeninnovatorsradio.com. And please do subscribe and share to spread the big messages and big missions to change the world.